We usually treat our dreams as disjointed movies playing in our heads, a chaotic sequence of events that have no relation to one another. But consider the case of a single individual who kept a precise sleep journal and recorded two highly vivid, specific dreams exactly 2 weeks apart. In the first dream, the subject is at a tense political gathering. He fears retaliation for sending critical emails to the group's leadership. But as the dream progresses, he finds the group isn't angry. Instead, they completely ignore him, treating him as someone entirely unimportant. Exactly 14 days later, the second dream arrives. It is a rare family gathering. As everyone prepares to depart, the subject and his brothers engage in prolonged hugging and crying, expressing deep sorrow over the separation. These two experiences appear to be opposites. One is defined by anxious irrelevance, the other by warm familial bonding. Yet these seemingly disconnected scenes belong to a single, coordinated psychological system. To understand the connection, we have to look past the surface plots and examine the psychological framing, starting with the public self in that political gathering. That dream operates on the recognition axis. This is the region of the mind that processes our need for status, hierarchy, and visibility within the larger social world. The dreamer discovers a wound of insignificance. His voice carries no weight, making him a non-threat to the very people he hoped to influence. The family dream shifts the focus entirely. Here, we see a complete absence of social ranking, evaluation, or competition for status. This is the attachment axis. In this space, the mind focuses on the preservation of existing emotional bonds, rather than the acquisition of new influence. The intense physical affection, the prolonged crying and hugging, is an act of emotional condensation. The brain takes abstract feelings of nostalgia and the fear of loss and intensifies them into these symbolic physical gestures to signal how much these people matter. Where the political dream queries the dreamer's public impact, the family dream uses emotional intensity to confirm their place in the tribe. Both are metrics for gauging personal worth in different arenas. This reveals a structural pattern. The brain is using two very different emotional textures to answer a single question. Whether through the anxiety of being ignored or the grief of saying goodbye, the brain is determining, what is my value to others? The mind simply directs that question to two different audiences, the broader society and the intimate tribe. This follows the logic of the Brain Kinematics Model. It treats psychological strain, the unresolved tension from our waking lives, like a physical force that must be sorted and rerouted during sleep. In this model, the political dream is theme-dominant, processing the cognitive strain of social structures. The family dream is emotion-dominant, acting as a pipeline for raw, primal attachment. These two frameworks allow the brain to vent entirely different types of waking life stress through a single nightly balancing act. This suggests that dreams are not random noise. They function as periodic balance reports generated by the mind. These reports show us exactly where unresolved tension is accumulating while we are awake. To maintain equilibrium, the brain swings between two core needs: recognition and attachment. Under heavy stress from career and public standing, the brain compensates by generating a dream about family attachment, bringing the internal scale back to level. This is why a single dream only reflects a temporary circumstance. Looking at one night in isolation provides an incomplete picture of the self. To see the actual architecture of your subconscious, you have to track these reports over weeks, months, or years to identify the persistent themes. Logging these patterns over time reveals the underlying balance axes of your life, clarifying what your mind requires to feel secure in the waking world.